So let's talk about this process, this engineering process of what they do. So are you comfortable? The first thing you're doing is you're identifying a problem or identifying something you're trying to solve. What's the challenge of this? What are the limits of it? How can I solve this problem or this issue, right? And from there, you do some exploring, you do some research, you do some thinking, right? Find out what others have done about this. You gather some materials together, you start gathering some ideals together, and you start playing with it, starting to figure out, okay, how can we fix this problem? What kind of exploration things can we look at? You with me? Identified the problem, I'm now starting to explore it a bit. Next, I come up with a design. And you're thinking up lots of ideals. And I'm going to push you all. This is where most folks who are just beginning this process get bogged down. Eric gets one good ideal and he says, boom, I'm done. I'm finished. But no, you've got to go more. You've got to think more. It was like pulling teeth in my freshmen to get them to do this for the health project that we're working on. They wanted one ideal and then they're done. No. Keep brainstorming. Keep thinking. Keep trying. Because that first ideal, while it may be okay, probably is not the best one, right? So you got to keep thinking up new ideals, lots of ideals. You pick one and you make a plan. So once you've got a bunch of them, now we'll say, okay, let's pick this one. Ooh, that's a good one. Let's pick that one. And we start making a plan of how I'm going to actually put it together. We're making a drawing or we're making a model. We're doing something to show us what this looks like. We cool? Identifying the problem, we're exploring, we're designing, and now let's actually create. We're going to create whatever it is that we're trying to use to solve this problem, right? So use your plan and build your ideals. And I think for a lot of engineers, this is the fun part, right? We've done the thinking, we've done the working, and now let's actually do something with it, right? Let's put it together. Once we put it together, let's try it out. Let's actually test it. Let's actually go and do what we're going to do, whatever we're trying to solve. Let's try and see if this thing I've built fixes it, right? And again, where a lot of folks like you, this is where you stop. Oh, I tried it. It worked. Great, I'm done. Or I tried it. It didn't work. Okay, I'm done. But that's not the last piece. What's the last piece? You got to make it better. You got to refine. Because that's the difference between somebody like you and me just throwing ideals at something and an engineer saying, oh, okay, well, here's what worked good. Let's take those pieces and make it better. Right, you just keep rolling in this kind of back and forth. Now realize as an engineer, eventually you have to actually produce your product and be done with it. But they would tell you that this circle could go on infinitely. You could just continually, but eventually the rocket has to launch, right? So you have to be done. Does that make sense? And so this is a process that I'm wanting to walk with you through in this challenge I'm going to give you today. Okay? Because you're going to be tempted, please hear me, you're going to be tempted to jump right to this. Create and try out. Okay? But I want you to be purposeful about jumping through these steps. About identifying what is it we're trying to do. Exploring what other folks have done, what ideals you can come up with, right? Making up a plan, right, as you design something. And then actually create it. Because I want to see written proof of all of these pieces, right? Scientists will say if you don't write it down, it didn't happen, right? I want to see that you actually did it. Show me the proof in writing. Any questions here about this design process? It's kind of intuitive, right? You're kind of like, well, duh, that's how you make anything, Mr. Hess. But this very particular order of this is what I'm going to do, that's what makes a good engineer. We cool? Questions there? All right. I'm going to stop this because, yes,